Hey, welcome everybody, boys and girls. Welcome to episode 85 of the Megavision Show, the companion podcast to Megavision's magazine. Today is, June 18th, 2021. I just had to double check the date on my computer. So, it's June 18th, 2021. I'm your host, Graham Cookson, and joining me this week, if he had $1 for every time I've called him baby, he'd have $1. It's Scotty Mo, baby. And joining me as well, most people know him as Chris Powell, which is why I'm going to introduce him as Chris Powell. It's Chris Powell! Hey, everybody. We are back live on Twitch once again to keep us company and fire off any questions you have in the chat, and we'll get to them as we go through the show. And this is a special show because a little event's been going on in America somewhere. E3. So we'll be throwing all the usual movie, Sega, and general gaming banter out of the window and focusing on E3, what just doggone happened this week. So strap in for the ride. There's this week's Megavision Show. Yes, we are back. And as always, we're going to start with how our week's been going. So, Chris, what have you been up to this week?
I have to say, this E3 virtually sucked.
And Scotty, what have you been up to this week?
Well, Graham, as you might remember, I very much enjoy Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich. And I discussed it both you and Marcin because I explained that I would dip it in my Frosty. Right?
Yes.
Because I'm an American and I do what I want. Well, I have an update for you, sir. Pringles must have heard my call because they fucking released spicy chicken chips.
What?
How about that? Disgusting. I haven't ate these yet, but I'm excited, so I'm going to try them right now.
Live,
you guys can enjoy
live on the show.
Reaction.
Fantastic.
The ASMR. Oh, it stinks. Okay. It burns a little bit more than the sandwich does. And it doesn't taste like it at all. It kind of tastes like the seasoning they use, but it's very strange. And what is even weirder is if you think about it, fries are potatoes. These are potato chips. They just combined an entire meal. I just need to pour soda into this tube, and it'll be a meal.
God.
So... there you go. These aren't that great.
For the next version, they're going to add the soda flavor in there too.
But I mean, this is the most exciting thing. Otherwise, E3.
Man, I don't think Pringles have made any good flavors outside of normal sort of potato chips or crisps, as we call them in the UK, like normal crisp flavors.
No, they have some good. Their pizza flavor's pretty good. I think I like those.
Oh, I haven't had the pizza
ones. If you
ones.
can see there, these are actually potato crisps.
Yes, they are.
Apparently. Oh, this kind of burns a little bit, actually, like not in a good way.
Wait till you go to the bathroom later.
I remember my friend and I one time got a sample of these Pringles, but they were cooked with this new oil called like Olean, and we ate the whole bag, and literally like 20 minutes later we were both like shitting our brains out because there's some sort of new oil that they were cooking it in, and they were trying to send out free samples, and it just destroyed our stomachs. The rest of the night we were just both so sick and just like crapping on the toilet all night long. So
that's Scotty's future.
Be careful what Pringles you put in your mouth.
Oh, sir, that was my college, apparently. There were rumors that we had a lot of foreign exchange students at my college, and there were rumors that they put laxatives in all of the meals to help the foreign exchange students adjust to our food.
What?
Yep. That's about the same reaction everyone else had.
Wow. Okay.
We had some weird rumors in basic training that they were putting this stuff called like saltpeter in our drinks to make us basically have like no sex drive while we were in basic training. There's a whole rumors that it was happening because I guess they were having issues with like guys and girls. This was the rumors that was happening when we were there, that they were having sex. So the idea was that they would give all these guys this drug or whatever, and then you wouldn't have any sort of sexual drive while you're at basic training. Okay. And that was, I don't know if that was legit or not, but those were the rumors back then. Man.
That sounds like a rumor for maybe summer camp, not for adult
I will say I don't remember having any morning wood the entire time I was at basic training. So,
Ooh.
All right, confirmed.
Could be a thing. Confirmed. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Scotty, what else have you been doing this week?
Oh, nothing. As it's been E3.
Excellent. There we go. Awesome.
Consumed me. It's as a result of E3. I've pulled my hair out.
Fantastic. And for myself, I've been in hospital this week. Huzzah! I've actually still got my hospital band thing on. Fantastic stuff.
That's what the cool kids do.
Yeah,
you're so dramatic, Graham.
Yeah, I know.
He's going to wear that for a year.
I am, totally. I've still
Go to the
got
hospital.
I've still got a wristband on from an event I went to like 2 years ago. That's not coming off. Anyway,
That's got COVID.
I can see him getting out of the airplane. Like, can I get to the front of the line? I just got to the hospital. Okay,
well, you know, they have rumors that like certain events, if you wear like, I remember hearing like rumors of like Glastonbury, like music festival over here in the UK, that if you wore the wristband like from the year before, you could get in free the next year because they didn't change them or something. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. But maybe I can get back into hospital for free. Yeah.
Oh, people would try that at PAX East all the time. They'd bring in the other lanyards, but they color coded them differently for each day every year after that.
Yeah, because people are cheap. Anyway, but yeah, so we're not going to go into too much what we've done this week because E3's happened. We want to get into that. But before that, let's get into Scotty Moe's Mail Sack of Wonder.
Here it is where you ask us stuff and we answer it. Hooray!
Now,
it's back, baby. That's right. It's time for the Mail Sack. Did it pick up that time? Because it never does.
That was decent. Yeah, that was good enough.
Okay, that's a big no. So we did have a couple of things. If you'd like to talk to us about this podcast, you can always let us know. Yell at us in the Discord where most of these come from, or you can holler at us on Twitter. But in Discord, Nicholas Schaefer said, regarding E3, I definitely think Nintendo and Microsoft had the strongest showing and really the only show. It was sad to see Ubisoft finally kill off the Wii, announcing the first Just Dance not available on Wii. Mario and Rabbids games cool, as well as Metroid Dread, but Super Monkey Ball, Banana Mania, and Age of Empire 4 were my standout games. And then regular Milo says, Metroid Dread announcement really super cool, and it'd be like if Sega announced they were finally releasing Sonic Extreme or something. And then on Twitter, Dr. Scottnick says, I find the concept of winning E3 so stupid, because I did ask in quotes, who won E3? Because I think that's dumb as hell. But he agreed with that it's stupid. But I'm very much impressed with how gorgeous Forza Horizon 5 and Breath of the Wild sequel look. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
I think there is something to be said about like winning E3, because I think there's certain companies, especially when you're launching a console, the stakes are really high, especially for like Microsoft and Nintendo and Sony. And I think you saw at one E3 where, Sony, especially after Microsoft showed off the Xbox One and it had all that just crazy, persistent online requirements and things like that. And you had the Sony executives like show how you share a game. And it's just like they did that. And that became one of those moments. And so like, I do think, and I think that's really set the stage for a lot of like how last generation played out between Sony and Microsoft. And I think a lot of it came from that public perception that really was hammered into at that E3. So I do think there's certain instances where a company can win or lose, but I agree with the sentiment of what you're going with. Overall, it's kind of a silly idea.
Yeah. I know what you mean, because especially in some E3s where there has been a standout company that everyone's talking about, basically, which kind of does dictate the winner almost. But I remember there's one E3 which was as after the Xbox and PS4 had released, and everyone was going, "Oh, Microsoft showed off the same games this year, like all shooters. Sony did this, and Nintendo did this." That everyone was saying it's all generic, and I was sitting there going, "What E3 were you guys at?" Because I saw loads of really fun games coming out of it. It's like the Microsoft one like had some shooters in it, but also had like Super Lucky's Tale and some other like it had some more indie games they were showing off and stuff. And I was like, and everyone just seemed to be bitching for no reason. I was just like, guys, come on, like, so sometimes I think it's personal opinion, like, but there definitely been some events where, like the one that you just mentioned, Chris, Sony did really pretty much stand out on it. But yeah, winning E3, like, it's not really a thing, is it?
Oh, come on. Okay, Intellivision won E3. Come on.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Apologies.
Tommy Tallarico won E3. Let me tell you.
So, actually, with that said, should we go into it? Should we go into what's happened at E3?
So
that was is that the end of my mail sack?
Is that the last one you've read out? I think so.
That's the last of my mail sack.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Beautifully done. So yeah, we're not going to go into absolutely everything that happened at E3. We're going to pick up on some of the bigger events that we actually streamed ourselves live. A couple of other bits we didn't stream live, but we want to talk about. So as we go into it, as we just mentioned, Intellivision showed their Amico, and we're actually going to. So Scotty's seen this. I saw a bit of it, but I was kind of doing something else at the same time, and Chris hasn't seen this. So we're actually going to watch the Intellivision Amico thing live now, basically.
And I'll say this.
It's not.
I've been keeping up with the Amico pretty closely, so I feel like I'm pretty well familiar with the latest on it, and I haven't seen it, so I'm really looking forward to this.
Okay.
Tommy, I feel like he's going to completely blow our minds right here.
Let's do this.
So he's going to blow something.
I'm going to hit play on the old video, so let's do it.
No one's getting blown.
Hi, I'm Tommy Tallarico, and what an honor it is for Intellivision to be a part of this year's E3. I want to personally thank the ESA for having us be involved. And we have seen some incredible stuff.
Thank you for letting us pay to be here.
To be a gamer. I've been in the video game industry for over 32 years and have been a part of the creative teams that have made some of the greatest video games of all time, including things like Disney's Aladdin, Earthworm Jim, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Metroid Prime, Guitar Hero. I'm even the guy who did the oof sound for Roblox. Don't hate.
Yeah, but he also he did the
I
oof
own the
sound.
Guinness World Record for the person who's worked on the most video games in their lifetime.
Wow.
My mother's very proud. But I'm here today to talk about
Admin Rising was on there.
And our brand new video game console, Amico.
Oh, you can get Tommy Tallarico on any podcast you want. I mean, just search Tommy Tallarico on YouTube, and there's like, if you got 12 subscribers, you can get Tommy Tallarico on your podcast.
I believe it.
That couch co-op experience. See,
so if we get 10 more subscribers,
we didn't have the internet to play video games. So if you wanted to play with somebody else, you went over their house or they came over to your house. It was everybody in a room. In fact,
I bet because you have no one who'll come over your house.
You're probably like me.
That's right.
And I bet your fondest memories of playing games were when you were playing with other people.
I fucking hate their
Caesar knows what up. He just says Tommy Tallarico is also
I'm going to be
insane.
honest. For a lot of you out there watching this, I'm not going to impress
I feel like you could use that little base right there for the controllers. It's like maybe to put chips in, some Pringles maybe.
Salsa bowl.
That's not what we're about. What we are is a really simple, fun party machine.
It almost looks like
that you can bring out
a Phantom.
Maybe some of your
remember? I don't know if you guys remember the
Infinity
Infinity Lab Phantom when it had the white with like the blue thing.
As much as you
kind of
are.
look like that.
Maybe Grandma comes over.
To me, it looks like a scale or an iPod
dice,
Gen 2 charging station.
Yeah, it looks like their iPods
are
basically.
built around fun and simplicity. That's the most important thing for us. And
these all honestly just look like mobile games to me.
To do it. Here at
But not even like really good mobile games to me.
Oh, they look like better than mobile games to me.
Who have over 600 years
Look at all these
experience.
Mobile games, dude.
making
Did
some
you
of
see
your
the new
favorite
fucking
games.
Witcher mobile game that just came out? It looks amazing.
I just don't like mobile games, to be honest.
Well, okay, that's fine, but if you're saying this looks better than most mobile games, you're crazy.
Visually,
So, for example,
the graphics aren't as good, obviously, but maybe the gameplay's better.
It really comes in handy
maybe.
when you're playing.
You've got
others
little
that
controllers,
might
little
not be as good
dials.
as
Like,
you
go,
with gaming.
little dial.
So it's a great way to give them little hints. For example, here in Shark, whoever's in last place, it will vibrate.
Shark.
I could use-
How do I get the rights?
And then
Could I
it
use my?
shows the
Is this
color
compatible
of
with my
the
Zune?
fan that's
If
going
I have
to
this, could I
release
sync that up and I could
the
just use my
bonus
Zune as a
pearl.
controller?
So only that
Maybe.
player will get that information. And also, having a screen on every single controller gives you a lot of really cool and unique abilities to do.
Now, this would be cool to play like a football game on, and you can select your play
like spades. And here you see it on Farfel, another one of our
You mean like a Dreamcast
games that you get
from 20 years ago?
Yeah, that. But I mean, it's a little bit more intuitive than trying to play on that shitty VMU.
This is actually kind of cool with the die. Like that'll blow a kid's mind, maybe, but or grandma,
or Graham.
I don't think
or Graham.
That kind of motion control.
Graham's mom.
With cornhole,
hey,
throwing the bag into the hole. By the way, this is an
hell yeah. Do you have cornhole over there, Graham? What do you call it?
Now, our main
what the hell's cornhole?
As well, most directional paths.
Well, if you've ever been to prison,
up, down, left.
Okay.
No.
It has 60
cornhole is literally
directions and touch sensitivity as well.
You just toss sandbags into a target that's like laying on the ground.
Here's a feature I think a lot
I thought
of
cornhole was a euphemism for your
I can
anus.
go over your house.
Oh, it is.
It in your
okay.
system,
Yeah.
And because it recognizes that it's my controller,
remember Office
we can
Space?
now play all
Watch your
of
cornhole,
my
buddy.
games that I own on your system at your house.
I've seen more Beavis.
Oh, what up, Iron Chef? No, we're just
there as well.
Iron Chef. We haven't all seen this, so we're enjoying it. So just take it in.
Contact charging. So once you're done with your controller and your game's over, you just dock it right back into the base.
How soon are these things going to get broken?
Another unique feature.
I mean, my kids will break this
we
in
have
2 seconds.
interactive
See, that's pretty
LED
cool.
lighting all throughout the console itself.
I don't think these
I
are
just mean they're going to
terrible.
drop these
And
controllers,
all the
and I just don't.
We also have RFID built
right.
throughout the entire
Have you seen the
console,
weird
which means you
stickers
get a
that they
gift
have
card,
for sale for
example,
these things on
tap
their
it on the
website? It
system,
looks like they've
and it
taken
shows up
clip
in your-
art
You know what's really
and just
cool about having
are
the
selling
focus
you these
being
sticker sheets.
people playing
And
Oh, we get there. Don't
I'll
worry.
give you an example.
They're so
Astro
generic.
Smash is a 4-player game. At any point during the game, somebody can pick up a controller and just
Like, I'm gonna
pick
have
the ship
fucking
they
12
want and
Amigos
go
just
right
sitting
into
on
the
my
game
entertainment
at any
center.
point. Now, for all
They
you
don't-
collectors
yeah, I don't
out
know.
there, you'll be happy to know that not only can you
That's us,
download
guys.
games digitally, but we also have physical media
Whoa,
as well.
physical media?
And we'll be releasing more information about that.
Hell yeah,
later this
look.
year. Now,
Is
here's
that
the
an
might be
Evil
cover
Knievel
art.
game?
I don't know. They look like Polaroids.
We don't allow any loot.
They've got an Evil
boxes,
Knievel game. Did you see
in-game
that?
Purchases, in-app advertising.
amazing.
It looks like something from like almost the old art style from
system for most of our games,
like
where
the
you can go in there and
SG-1000
check your
style
scores
of
against
art,
Yeah.
like that weird
states,
hand-drawn stuff that you'd see.
country, the
Mhm.
world,
Back then.
or
Oh, they got fake
the
Bomberman.
month, the year, and of all time. And those scores
Scotty's
tie
here for
into
fake
our
Bomberman.
achievements as well.
well,
so if you have the
I have
highest
a comment
score at
about
the end
that
of the
after this is
month
done.
of your country, we're going to
Fucking
email
Kelly
you a
is killing it.
certificate
Get it,
that you
Kelly.
go print out and
Yeah.
hang on your wall. Now, as we all know, the most important
That's
part
what
of
I'm gonna
any
do,
video game
idiot.
system are the
Physical games are $20 at launch,
They all
and
have to
digital's
be
10. Hey, that's
super
not.
fun to
You're
play.
at least
And
getting
that's where we really,
some
really
discount by
shine. In
going
fact,
digital. You
all
don't
of
get
our
that on
games
That's not bad for games that look like they were made 40 years ago.
All of them
And that should
contain
be
a
about
single
$2
and
on mobile.
multiplayer or couch co-op mode, and all the games.
I am
What are the
not-
physical? What are the physical media?
Snake,
look like?
guys,
Exclusive
4-player
content.
Snake.
Hell
Like
yeah.
Retro Reimagine, where we take some of the greatest classic video games of all
Do they show
time,
what the carts
give them
or
new
the
graphics,
physical media
new
looks like?
audio,
Is it
add
a cartridge?
multiplayer and couch
Mm.
co-op. Some of the things
I
we
don't
have, for
think
example,
so.
12 of the best games from Atari, like Breakout, Asteroids, Tempest, Missile Command. We have
That's not
games like
Asteroids, but
Burger
whatever.
Time, Bump and Jump, and even some of the
You know what I
best
want to play is
Intellivision
Wizards of
games
War.
from the
I would
past,
I'd like to see a Wizards
Cloudy
of War
Mountain
remake. Give me
and
that.
Night Stalker. We have edutainment titles for kids.
Oh,
7
Big
and under.
Bird. He's
Things like
Ooh,
Free
the Sega
Great.
Pico's in trouble.
Now, our original IP category contains brand
Maybe they'll get
new
Ed and
games that we
Enziata to make
created
a
lot
Echo
of times
one for it.
around our unique controller. Some of those games
Wait
are
for it.
platformers like Finnegan Fox,
I'm up for
Bomb
this.
Finnegan
Squad,
Fox. Will he ever learn?
Space Strikers,
It's showing you how to like solder
Flying
stuff.
Tigers. And we even got the original Echo the Dolphin team
What?
to create our new title called Dolphin Quest.
Is Ed and Annunziata
Hell yeah.
involved in
We
this?
even take
What?
more modern
He said
games
team.
and
He did
add
not say
exclusive
creator.
co-op modes. Games like Rigid Force Redux Enhanced.
Well, I
and
mean, I wonder if
Dynamite.
he did any
Now,
sort
our
of
sports and recreational
the audio
category
for it. If he
not
had
only
something
has
that's
big
like
sports like
just
Major
be
League
him.
Baseball and soccer, but also recreational sports
soccer
like
ball.
cornhole, skiing, Cool.
I'm
There it
gonna
is.
throw that fucking controller
Now,
the first time I try
our
to play
casual
Fortnite.
Yeah, they better have
contains
straps
many
on these
party
bitches.
games,
Oh,
dice
Barkle?
games,
Oh,
board
snap.
games,
Yeah,
card
I wonder if they're going to
Yeah.
get the Wiimote
Things
thing
like
where everyone kept
spades,
throwing it at the TV
emoji
by mistake.
charades, and even
Amica,
award-winning
there's
board
I don't think they're
games
gonna
like
have a
Blank
problem.
Slate,
I don't think they're gonna have that
Illustrations,
problem,
and
Graham.
Ink and Gold.
I
Now, I've
might
already
get
mentioned
this for my
some really
nephews.
big
I think they'd be into
partnerships
this.
and
They like
Major
games,
League
but they
Baseball
can't really
and
play
Sesame
modern
Street.
games. They're too young.
But we have even more, including things like Mattel Hot Wheels,
Hot
Check
Wheels.
out these
Harlem
logos we
Globetrotters,
boud.
and so much more. Now, we've previously
There's no way this is
announced
an
that we're
MLB
doing
game.
a brand new exclusive Earthworm Jim game for Intellivision. And we got the original team to be working on it. We wanted to do something special, so we're going to give away
Wait, they
3
really
of these
got
new
Earthworm Jim?
prints. All of the team members signed
Yeah,
it.
this is old
All
news.
you have to do
This
Yeah, this is old news,
email
Graham. You should
Oh,
you should check out megavisionsmag.com. They
Oh,
reported
maybe we
on
should.
this.
The subject
Yeah.
line, groovy.
No, this is
You have till the
yeah.
end
When
of
they
June to
actually
do that,
announced this,
and then
Graham,
we'll
they
announce 3
had a lot
winners
of these
at the
original
end of the month.
guys,
Well, thank you for spending
there.
a little time with us here today.
and so they
Hopefully,
announced
as you can
then that they were
see,
going to be
our
doing this.
approach is
So
a
I mean,
little
it's been a
different
while,
than
and the
everything else
Amico
that's
is
out there,
already
and
supposed
we
to
really
have
don't
been
view others as
released originally.
competition.
So if
What
they're
we're
not going to
doing
show
with
some
you
sort
is
of Earthworm
complementary
Jim
to
footage
what the video
here,
game
I'm going to be
industry
pretty
is
disappointed.
doing. It's such an exciting time.
Other than these
to
fucking
be in the
hand-drawn
industry,
art
to
that
be
they're
a
like, oh, you
fan
could win
of
this.
the industry, and we are fans.
Well, did you
of
hear
the
how you
video
have to
game
win it?
industry. And you know, if
No.
there's something that
You send an
see here
email
today
with the
that might be of
subject
interest,
groovy,
or
and he
maybe
gave
you're
the
a
email
developer who
address.
wants to make
That's
some
it.
games for us. Maybe you want to place
It was
a
not
pre-order.
groovy. I'm sorry,
Please
Tommy.
go to Intellivision.com.
I'm pre-ordering.
And
it.
then for
Sold.
for a guy that's like worked in music his whole life, that whole video had such like an echo and reverb to it. It's not the best audio quality.
Hmm.
At least they got the Intellivision.com website, so that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I think what happened was whoever owned those rights to all that insanity passed, and Tommy Tallarico swooped in there and it's like, I got the rights to this console name. Let's do something with it.
Oh,
But
guys, I don't know if you guys like
or
the
not.
I don't know, like Coleco headquarters. I just I discovered this a couple years ago. It's like right down the road from me.
Oh snap!
So
Well-
like all of where the Coleco stuff comes from, it's just right down the road.
Wow.
It's actually not far. Remember when we picked up the Megavisions copies like right before Too Many Games?
Yes. Yeah.
Right in that area where we were at is kind of where the Coleco offices are.
Oh wow, interesting. And I'm also wearing a Too Many Games shirt because we're about to talk about Too Many Games because there were too many games in all of. Yeah, Tommy Tallarico is either an insane man or a complete asshole with the amount of his confidence. I can't tell what, and that's not Megavisions talking. That's me, but I think he's a fucking nut job.
Wow.
It just like the whole thing, like it's a great idea, but this is also basically what the Wii did 10, 12 years ago. What 06? So what was that? 14 some years ago or whatever.
Wow. Yeah.
I just think like it. I mean that whole presentation was clearly. I think it was just like, Tommy, we got to do this thing. Just talk about what we have, because I don't know if he was really. He was kind of just like, and we've got this. You know what? We've got this, and you know what? Not an Ninziata, but some other. I don't know. Like I'll say this about it, and then I'll ask you guys what you think, because I think like honestly, now that I've seen what's happening with it, it is a cool idea, but this is not for me at all. Like, Chris, this makes sense to have in your house because like you have the captive group of people that could play this. I doubt there's any online multiplayer for any of this stuff other than the leaderboards, like they said. That Bomberman knockoff, it was called something else, but I forget what it was called now.
Blaster Boy.
Blaster Boy. That was what it was originally named in the UK. Forever ago, but that's what Bomberman started out as, under that name, and I can't remember the name of it now. I should have written it down.
I will find out while you're talking. Keep talking.
But yeah, they need to clarify, like, you have this plate with your controllers. What do you do with the other controllers? And I don't know how much this thing costs. Can you just buy other controllers, or do you have to buy like an Amico pair, or like what goes on with that? Like, it's a cool idea, but this looks like something that's going to end up in a CVS pretty soon, you know, like a drugstore. Not.
I didn't see anything in any of the gameplay trailers that they showed that made me say I really want to get this. I think the only thing that has the potential to pique my interest is Earthworm Jim. I'm interested in seeing more about the Dolphin Quest game, only because I want to know who of the original Echo team is actually involved in this. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Ed Annunziata is involved in it, because I know he wants to revisit, that whole premise, because he had that Kickstarter years ago for Big Blue. But I believe he ended up getting the rights back to Echo the Dolphin. So I don't see why, if it's Ed Annunziata involved in it, why he wouldn't just say, we're going to make an Echo the Dolphin game on the Intellivision Amico, if it were actually him. So that kind of leads me to believe that it's not Ed Annunziata. It's just maybe some other people involved in the project.
Yeah, just very quickly.
I'm 100% on board with that.
Bomberman was apparently called Dino Blaster in Europe.
Yeah. That's what the game is. They said, we've got Dino Blaster. It's like,
yeah, you do.
There's probably like 12 people in the world that freaked out over that, and they probably all run an Intellivision podcast.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. I get that this is not for everybody, but I think this could be a lot of fun. Some of these games, they seem like half decent games, and the fact it's not all touchscreen, actually have physical buttons. I think that could be fun for families and kids and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they didn't look like terrible games to me. Like there's some very basic ones there I can clearly see, but there's a couple in there I saw like, that actually looks okay. I'd play that.
The part of some of the controversy surrounding this, though, is that there was a preview from, I think, a Saudi Arabian IGN site about the Amico. I guess they somehow got an early build of the Amico, and they were saying that there is some very noticeable lag, input lag in the controllers, it so bad to where it does affect gameplay. Which, if you're going to have a controller that is going to be wireless and everything's built around it, you need very seamless gameplay. And that would be like the Wii. If there was very bad lag on the Wii, could you imagine? That would just kill the whole experience. Yeah. So I'm interested in seeing if this has been addressed, because, like I said, this system was supposed to have been released, already. And if they're still having input lag in their hardware at this point, that tells me, I don't know if that's going to be something that's going to be getting addressed if they're this, supposedly late in the game and advanced in building out the hardware. So I'm interested in the Amico. I want to know more about it, and I would love for it to succeed. But I'm like I said, for me, it's nothing more than just a mild curiosity for me at this point.
Yeah, it's not. Do we know how much it is or anything? What the asking price is?
Maybe we'll check it out. Let's
$599.99.
I've signed up to their email listings because I've been interested to see, and they have like a wood grain style color, and they do have like I was watching Giant Bomb's like E3 recap, and they can't be involved in everything, but they're like, how have we not, like, have they even told anyone? Is this, where can you buy this, whatever? And I wish I was there, because I would have been like, dude, they've bought ad space in GameStops in the US, like one of the and so it's out there, like people are aware of it. I keep comparing it to the Polymega. I know we probably shouldn't entirely, because they're completely different beasts hardware wise, but just how like people know about this because it's Tommy Tallarico and he tells people, and they clearly have put money into like a marketing routine emails and stuff like that. But it's such a weird, it's a fun, I keep wanting to spell the name Amiico, thinking it's like the Wii so much, but it's just one I in there, just Amico.
Amico?
Yeah, not a Pico.
Okay, so stupid. Sorry. What's it called? Cookies just popped up to get in my way. The white version in America is $249. In the UK, it's £249, which is interesting.
I don't know.
It's interesting though. When you click on the Intellivision website, you can pre-order from different locations. It's got America, UK, Germany, Austria, Italy, Spain, and other. When you click on the UK, one of the places you can pre-order from is GameStop. GameStop doesn't exist in the UK anymore. Like
it's probably just a mistake.
It's really weird. And Game Legends, I've never even heard of. Where's this place? What kind of company is this? Anyway, never mind.
I think that's too much. I think it should be $199 for this thing.
Yeah, I got most. I did get excited though, because if you click on pre-order from Intellivision, it says $100. I was like, that's not bad. But then next to it says pre-order. Like, sorry,
The deposit, right?
Like deposit, that's the word. Yeah, sorry, I just
Right.
got the wrong word. Yeah. So yeah, it's not how much it costs, unfortunately. So yeah, it's like
Does it say, can you pre-order like just controllers or anything, or is it only like the base set or whatever like that?
Actually, let's bring up my screen.
Sorry,
share.
guys, no more E3 talk. This is the Intellivision.
Yeah.
So buckle up.
So let's. Oh, whoops. That's okay. That's better. Screen. Okay, so this is from GameStop.
Okay. Oh, we're looking at it now. Yeah.
So
Right on. What we got? Purple, Galaxy Purple,
yeah,
Graphite Black, Glacier White.
Mhm.
All sound delicious and like they're fucking iPhones.
Yeah, and then this is from.
Did they
the
say
official
on there
site.
when? Because this is
Ooh.
saying
What the hell?
Please zoom in on that wood grain.
the release
Wood
date
grain.
is like October 10th. That's did they say that they're going to hit that this time, or did they push that back? I thought that was already delayed.
I have no idea.
Pre-order FAQ. Let's see what that says. Does that say, will the Amico work outside of the USA? Okay. Doesn't really say anything.
The wood grain and like these, I didn't, when they were announcing the colors and then they said wood grain, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Xbox 360 faceplates all over again. Dude, no one cares what color. You get to a certain point where you're like, why do I care what color my controller is? I'm never looking at it. No one else is looking at it. I'm just holding it, and I know for a second when I turn the system on what color it is. You know?
The handy time to have a different color controllers is when you got multiple people around. You can have the black controller, you can have the green controller, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally why I own different colored Dreamcast controllers for the marathon, so we know who's who.
Yeah, I think the wood effect looks kind of cool, to be honest. It reminds me of my old Atari 2600, but
that's exactly why. I guarantee you this will be the most sold version of it.
Yeah, or the funky PS5.
Corey, go back to vacation. Sorry, I'm back. I'm here.
Oh dear.
Yeah, like if I stumble across one of these at like a Rite Aid or something for $50, I would probably snag it out of curiosity, but not gonna be. I mean, Chris is gonna get it, so we can hear about it from him.
I'll probably get it when it drops down to $50.
Hey, everybody, want to invest? There we go.
In something else, yeah, like the next topic.
Let's keep growing.
Let's keep going. Okay, right. That's enough of Intellivision chats. So yeah, let's move on to the next bit.
Just thought it was worth bringing up because it's so retro and it's so niche that like we've been covering it on the website and stuff that we gotta.
Yeah,
it's a mind-boggling thing that also makes the most sense out of anything right now.
Oh, sorry, I've just got.
Anyway, I'm not the host here.
Mode. Yeah, sorry. I was just trying to mess with the cameras and stuff. Yeah, so the other thing we're going to look at is Ubisoft's presentation. In fact, let's bring up the screen share in the background, and we can have that going on.
We're
in the background.
not going to sit here and talk through the entire thing. Don't worry.
We're just going to have it playing in the background, so you can see some of the footage.
Talking about our hits.
Yeah, so they showed off about 10 games. Some which you might know about. Some that most of them are. In fact, I think. Most of them are old IPs which have got, new sequels in them and stuff, or DLC and things like that. But there's been a couple of new IPs that they showed off. What were your highlights, guys, out of this? I could go through this, but I don't think that's worth it at the moment. What do you think?
I, to be honest, didn't really care, except for that Rider Republic game, only because you mentioned Ram. Nothing struck a chord with me.
Okay.
Not even Rocksmith is interesting, but I don't think it makes sense the direction they're going with, like downloadable subscription type stuff. But the way that it's going at that point, it's like, if we were in a pandemic forever, that would make sense. Otherwise, go take guitar lessons. But I don't know. Yeah, other than Riders Republic, nothing really stood out to me.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Chris, what about you? Any standout games for you on this?
Yeah, I mean, for me, Rainbow Six Extraction looked really good. That was something I totally wasn't expecting. And I'll say this, I hate these war games now. Like, I played the old Medal of Honor, and I did that Modern Warfare and Battlefront for a little bit, and then I just got tired of them because there's just so many of them, and so I have zero interest in them. And this is one of the first kind of modern-esque combat war games that look pretty badass. Granted, there's aliens and other weird shit in it, and that's what makes me excited about it. But at least it's like, hey, it's a Rainbow Six game that actually makes me interested in it, and I can't tell you the last time I was interested in a Rainbow Six game.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
before you get away from that game, did you ever play the Resistance series on PS3, Chris?
I really enjoyed the Resistance stuff, but I didn't play
really
through all of them. But it did give me some Resistance vibes. It doesn't seem as dark as Resistance, but I think there is certainly room in like the high end first person shooter genre for a more monster and kind of sci-fi-esque shooter in this style of gameplay, so I'm looking forward to it. Outside of that, I will say I was talking to Graham before the show. This got me really excited to go back and play some of the old Far Cry games because Far Cry 6 looks so cool to me. I'm really excited for that. So I went on Xbox Live and or the Xbox Store and ended up getting Far Cry 3, 4, and 5 in some bundle for like $12 this past week. In addition to Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, and that was like $3-4. And so I've been playing through that, and I'm really stoked for Far Cry 6. Outside of that, those are the two standouts for me. But I'm really excited. I'm jumping back into the Far Cry series now, and I plan to play through all of them and be ready for the next one.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
I guess I'll clarify. Maybe this will jump into yours, Graham. I said what game I was excited for and didn't say what it was at all, like describe the game at all, because the name doesn't Riders Republic anything. But it's essentially extreme sports open world game, which I think is long overdue, and I'm kind of surprised that hasn't existed. So Graham and I were saying we were both pumped for that, as long as like you have a group to play with, because otherwise if there's nobody in there, MMO, it's basically going to be a post-apocalyptic game on a dirt bike. So
I was kind of interested in quite a few of the games. So Rainbow Six Extraction, which is the game that's sort of still showing in the background there, I was really interested in. Far Cry 6, I really enjoy the Far Cry games. Far Cry 3 is still my favourite by far, but I have enjoyed the other ones. But I'm hoping Far Cry 6 will bring it back to its peak level of Far Cry 3, because the story and the way the game progressed in Far Cry 3 was so good to me. It was an open world game that felt like you were progressing quite well, whereas the other ones just feel like an open world game where there's lots of empty stuff to do, like pointless tasks to do, whereas Far Cry 3 felt a bit more substantial.
I feel like I want to try to push through the story as quickly as I can and not mess with too much side quests. Do you feel like if I do that in Far Cry 3, I'm going to miss a lot of it, or can I kind of push through, get through the main story, and kind of get on with the next one?
You can push through. Yeah, there's like the side quests and stuff in Far Cry 3 aren't that big a deal. You can just unlock better, equipment and things like that, really, by doing that.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's not like they've got proper full-on side stories that you have to pay attention to. But yeah, in fact, let's move on to. Let's bring up Riders Republic so we can show some of that in the background. So I'm just finding where it is in the thing. Oh, here it is. Is this it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Cool. Right. So yeah, this is the Riders Republic bit. Oh no, an advert's going to pop up. Oh no. Okay, one second. I'm going to have to skip away from that.
I thought we had the YouTube Premium or whatever.
I have not set that up yet. Sorry. I was talking about doing it and I haven't. So yeah, this is Riders Republic that's showing off in the background. As Scotty sort of mentioned, it's like an open world extreme sports game. And this has kind of got me excited because it reminds me of a Dreamcast game called Sega Extreme Sports, or in America it's just called Extreme Sports. And yeah, in that game, it's weird. Like they kind of had these big open map areas basically, but you were kind of restricted on where you could go in the Sega Extreme Sports, whereas this looks like a proper full open world adventure game, basically like the Forza Horizon games, but with lots of different extreme sports. And it just looks a bit crazy, like a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm definitely up for this. But as Scotty said, you probably do need a group of players to go around with you. I think it's an online only game, so I think there will always be people around. But yeah, I think it'd just definitely be more fun if you got like a little squad.
Oh, if we get a Megavisions team together and just do something like this, would probably be so much fun. I'm all in. I'm all in if you guys want to do this.
I mentioned that it's like this was kind of when I was getting out of Nickelodeon cartoon shows, but if anybody remembers Rocket Power, it looks like if they took that show and made it into a video game, basically, because that's just kids on a boardwalk pier that are just like, let's go skateboard. It's time to aggressive inline, whatever. Let's snowboard. That doesn't make
sense. Yeah. I remember Chris saying he can't watch YouTube videos of this like BMXing.
Oh, I was freaking out on the stream when we were doing this. I was like, I hate it, man.
I love it.
I have a fear of heights. I'm not to the point where it's like a phobia or anything, but I really don't like them. I get uneasy and stuff. And this freaks me out.
Yeah. I do get, when I'm playing games, if I'm jumping off of a ledge or something, like even the new Spider-Man game, my stomach jumps a little bit.
Wow.
If I'm
I don't like it.
So I'm there with you. But this looks fun. I love that there's a fucking, like, they're going around this snowboard park, essentially. That's not how snowboarding works, but that's okay, because this is a video game.
It's not downhill at all. But this looks like something I could probably get my kids to play with me.
Yeah.
And there's not very many games I can say that about.
Yeah, I hope there's some sort of split screen, because what's going to happen if you hop on and for even an hour, So hopefully.
Yeah. These rocket pack things are freaking awesome as well. Look at that. And it kind of reminds me of Pilot Wings as well, in a weird way.
Boy.
Oh, man.
Pilot Wings,
all right, what else we got?
Edition.
So, yeah. A couple of other big games they sort of mentioned at Ubisoft were the Mario and Rabbids, Sparks of Hope. I'm just going to bring that up as well quickly. There you go. Jump to that bit. And, yeah, so this is, if you don't know, it's the sequel to the Mario and Rabbids game. So it's a XCOM style game. So it's a sort of strategy combat game, basically. And yeah, it looks fun. I don't really know what else to say.
I don't think we need to explain that one. People pretty much know what's going on with that. It's cool that there's another one.
Yeah, definitely. And
I liked Ubisoft though. I know a lot of people. It was funny because as I watched it, I was like, wow. I thought Ubisoft showed some good stuff there, and I'm pretty stoked with what they showed. But it seemed like a lot of other people weren't very happy with it.
Yeah, I was quite happy with it. And this what we're looking at right now is the new Avatar game, which I thought was quite cool. I mean, it looks decent. I can't remember if they said if this is in-game engine or in-game visuals and stuff. This is
using the Halo Infinite engine.
That's right, yeah. It's going to be a first-person game, not a first-person shooter. They've said that it's a first-person game, which makes sense because they don't really see this as being a full-up shooting game. But yeah, it looked pretty cool.
I don't think they shoot anything. Or they do use guns, I guess, don't they?
You just take pictures. It's like Pokemon Snap. That's all you're doing in it.
Yeah, this is Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, which I'm not sure if it's set at the same time as the next movie or if it's between movies or something.
I mentioned, I think Chris said something while we were watching this, or while you were watching that or something. And because I think you said something like, I'm not sure if this takes place during this one. I think they might have, updated the story. And I was like, oh, are you telling me they've updated?
Oh, Scotty, you cut out just as you're saying the most important bit of your sentence just then.
That's usually everything I say is the most important. What was the last thing?
It's like
the punchline. The
punchline, basically.
I was just saying, like, are you telling me that a movie they've changed the plot or anything, the story with the movie that's been in development for 12 years?
Yeah,
that's true.
And
this looks good. I mean, I don't know what to say other than, I can't say it looks good because we don't know what it's at all going to be like. This is basically like the Halo Infinite trailer. It's just showing you stuff in the world. And I'll say this, I fucking love Avatar, so I'm on board with it. I want to play more of it. I'm looking forward to the next Avatar movie. But this doesn't really show me anything. It looks cool, but it's just Avatar stuff. It's not showing you any gameplay or anything.
Yeah, for all we know, this could be the TV series.
Yeah. And Happy Dude says a video game for a sequel to a 12-year-old movie. Why? But I don't know. Happy Dude, I don't know if you realize they
Because
actually
it
are
made
releasing,
like $94 trillion.
yeah, but they're also releasing a new movie, so that's kind of what this is tying into.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why.
Yeah, I mean, GoldenEye came out like 3 years after the movie, so don't worry.
Yeah,
it'll be relevant some way, shape, or form. Next
is probably one of the best E3 shows I'd say, which is
Devolver 1.
The Devolver Digital.
Devolver shows are always the ones I look forward to most, just from a pure entertainment stuff, because they're always up in the ante, and I just love them because they're without sounding too cheesy, but they're kind of like the bad boys of the game development scene, because they'll do shit like they don't even go to E3. They'll go out across the street and rent like a building, and that's where they'll do it. And so it's like they'll just do shit like that. So it's always kind of cool to see what they did. And they didn't disappoint this year. I thought they had a very fun showing.
Yeah,
they're the punk rock devs.
And if you didn't see it, they had a really good way to present stuff, which was just like a really funny one camera shot. Them walking around the office, which is just a bit of madness, really. But were there any standout games for you guys at all?
Oh yeah, I mean, overall, I wanted to say about them that they are more and more emphasizing why they hire actors and actresses for all this. They are more and more emphasizing why you don't need to have the game devs and the makers of the stage, because they don't know how to talk to the public.
Well, they're coders, programmers, and stuff. It's like
not to generalize, but a lot of them,
all of their strong suit.
As excited as they are about the game they're making, stage presence is something that exists, but not in everyone. So, for myself though, Devolver, we all bought Demon Throttle as we were learning about it, or we tried to, which was they said like they made fun of all of us too directly. Because they're like, this is something for collectors. It's only physically released. You can't download it ever, and you can pre-order it right now. Never not play it ever, or something like that. So we all did that within the hour of.
I wonder how soon someone rips that shit and posts the ROMs on the internet.
Oh yeah,
that's it.
But I think Demon Throttle looked cool. It looked like basically Ikari Warriors. And I'm just looking at the list here. I honestly don't remember. Was Phantom Abyss the first person running portal-looking laser tag game?
I'll say this about Devolver games: their names always just seem so generic. Like I can't tell you if it's like Shooting Tree Deluxe, and they're like, okay. But like I couldn't tell you the names of many of these games, and
So Trek to Yomi, which is the game that's showing right now on the stream. I thought this game looked really cool.
Yeah,
a lot of style.
Yeah, a lot of style to it. I guess it's like a 2D style, just samurai game, really.
Which I'm totally into this style. Like if you really think about this, is like it could almost be like an 8-bit ninja game that we played, from back on the NES, days, like I forgot some of the good ones.
It looks Legend a lot like Cage. Dishwasher.
Legend of Cage was awesome. And so like I would be down if it was like kind of that similar style of gameplay, but it's just like ultra really badass looking like this. And I would love to see some just 2D fucking samurai fights like that. Hell yeah, I'm on board.
Oh
yeah, it reminds me a lot of Ska Studios game Dishwasher, which is another solid, super violent 2D hack and slash kind of thing. And Iron Chef in the chat mentions, don't we all miss Sony's Kevin Butler, another fake game personality? I loved him. So yeah, that's really what the industry needs more of, to be honest.
Yeah. And I think this is Phantom Abyss that's showing right now, which is
I did. That looks fun.
Yeah, which is a weird
temple running thing.
Yeah, because it's like an online competitive thing, but they're actually ghosts you're running against or something.
Yeah.
So, and when they die, you can see where they die, so that kind of helps you know the traps to avoid. So it's kind of like Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's
temple running, basically.
Cool.
It's like almost like Indiana Jones and what's the one EA of like
Mirror's Edge
runner. Mirror's Edge.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Indiana Jones. Almost.
Yeah.
Right.
I love Mirror's Edge. That's a great game.
Yeah, I'm on board. This looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I would honestly recommend just everybody go check out their presentation, just from an entertainment standpoint.
Lots of interesting games that have I think there's probably a little bit for everyone in this. Like if you're a fan of video games, you're by far going to find something you like here.
Well, we didn't even mention that overall they're making fun of games as a service because they have the Devolver it's not multi-pass, that's Fifth Element. It's Mega Pass Plus or something.
Max Pass Plus or something it's called.
Oh, we couldn't say it, I remember.
Yeah, it was quite a mouthful. Devolver Digital Max Pass Plus or something.
And they're legitimately selling merch for that, and the suit that was in it, and a VHS tape that somebody already bought that went to a charity, I forget. They're my favorite developer right now. What can I say?
Yeah,
just because of this thing.
It's brilliant. Yeah, if you're going to watch anything from E3, just watch their whole thing. It's in total, it's about half an hour long with all the gameplay and stuff. But just the presentation was fantastic. It was really, really well done.
They win the Megavision's official 3 award for style.
Yeah,
that I just created.
Cool. Should we move on to the next one?
Let's keep rolling.
Yeah. There we go. Devolver Max Pass Plus Premium Purchase. There we go. That's popped up on the screen.
You said it.
Yeah. Oh, which game was this actually? Very quickly. This one looked quite cool as well.
That was something with a gun, maybe. No, I don't know.
It showed Wizards with a gun earlier before this. So.
Death's Door, maybe. Yeah, I think this is Death's Door. This looked quite cool, I thought as well. But yeah, anyway. So that's so yeah, the next one is the one I missed, which I really wanted to go to because this is the Xbox and Bethesda one, and they showed off a lot of games. So in total, they talked about 31 games, or they showcased about 31 games, and plus this extra bonus thing they showcased, and so it included. Unfortunately, not actually gameplay footage, but they had a little teaser for Starfield, which was originally going to be a PS5 exclusive and is now officially an Xbox exclusive title. So, yay for Xbox fans like me. But
they did a good job of sneaking the release date. Well, it wasn't really snuck. It was in your face, but they included the release date in the trailer without saying it.
Yeah, which I thought was quite cool. Yeah. The trailers, I mean, it looks good. If this is what it's going to look like in the game. But yeah, we don't really actually see any proper in-game footage.
This game is so far out that it's... Yeah, they're not going to show anything right now.
Yeah, so it's coming the 11th of November 2022. So we've got over a year to wait.
No, it's not.
It says it's coming. Okay, it says
it'll
it's
be
coming.
2023. I guarantee it.
Okay, right. Well, watch this space. Chris could be right. I'm hoping they live up to their promise. This has been in development for a while now, hasn't it? From what I know.
Yep.
But yeah, oh well, we'll see. Okay, actually, we could go through all the games, but let's not. What were your standout moments for the Xbox?
Well, I was about to say something, and then someone asked us if we wanted to be famous.
Oh,
nope.
So I'll take care of that.
Nice one.
I will take care of that.
Okay, Chris, what were your hot takes or the ones that you like?
You know what though? I was glad to see more of Halo. It looks looking better from the last time we saw it. I was really underwhelmed. The original showing, and I'm glad that I think that they're doing the smart thing with Halo. They realize Microsoft knows how important the Halo franchise is to them, and I think that I think that they're treating it the way it should have been treated all along, and that means hey, if this game is not ready, we're going to take the time and make sure it's ready because it's that important to us. And I think that they made a good decision on holding it back and looking at what they showed. Granted, it's in engine, but it's not actual gameplay. I'm still impressed with just the visuals and what I'm seeing. And I think it's progressing well. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's as cliche and cheesy as it is with saying a Halo game is your favorite showing. But I was really looking forward to that and seeing what more of that. And I think I'm ready to come back and give the Halo franchise a try again. And I'm looking to jump back on board with this one.
Cool. Scotty, Chris, did you have any other ones? Or sorry.
That was my main one. I'll let Scotty go.
Okay, go, Scotty.
Oh, I was going to just add on to Halo kind of. I mean, it's nice to see more because, again, I've bought console. Well, the Xbox One I bought for Halo 5, and then finished Halo 5 and returned it. But not returned it, but it was good to see more. I don't mean to be overly critical, but I don't think it looks as good as it should to be the flagship Microsoft title, in my opinion. Like, I feel like as good as graphics are now and everything, like it should just completely blow us away. But that said, I don't care how it looks also. I just think I think there's a new not Cortana. I couldn't really care less because Cortana in Halo 5 was like nothing I wanted to do with. And I love that the internet is losing its shit because this one's wearing clothing. Oh, sorry, horny internet.
God, that's so weird,
it looks
man.
Is it? Because that tall lady in Resident Evil just set Capcom ablaze.
Well, I just mean it's weird that people are mad that she's like, if it's like you're mad that she's wearing clothes now.
They can. There's fan fiction out there already, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anti-Chris and I watched this one, and we saw the Sea of Thieves thing, and we legitimately do not understand why anyone gets Sparrow, because apparently he's the only pirate in the world. There are so many other
Scotty, you keep cutting out at the key moments when you say stuff. It's actually are you using the right microphone? Let me close.
Yeah. Is my audio cutting out?
Yeah, your audio just keeps randomly cutting out. You're not using your earpiece, are you? You're using your actual proper microphone, are you?
Yeah, it's definitely only the Yeti. Let me try one thing here.
I know you're talking about Sea of Thieves. I will say that I like Sea of Thieves. Odin and I, that is a fun game for us to play, just kind of an easy co-op game. And I got excited seeing Jack Sparrow. I think there could be some fun stuff to do with the whole mythos and bringing him into it, just from a storyline standpoint, and just some of the fun things. I'm into it. It's not something that's gonna really move the needle, I think, in terms of like getting the player base, growing for Sea of Thieves or anything like that. But I'm sure for people that have played it and are into those movies, I'm sure it's exciting.
Well, the interesting thing about it is, from what I could tell, this is actually a proper story campaign around the Pirates of the Caribbean world, which I feel like, okay, I haven't played much of Sea of Thieves. I do enjoy what I played of it, though. We played it together a little bit, Chris. But from what I know, they don't really have any other proper storylines, do they? Most of it's just these sort of side quest style stuff, going around, exploring, and
I'm sure there's like lore and stuff as you get into the quests and things like that, but it's not set out as a proper story-based online game. It's more of like it drops you in and you're kind of on to missions and it's that sort of thing. So, I'm looking to see what they're going to do with it.
This is more story-driven, basically, from what I can tell.
I'm not shitting on Sea of Thieves. I just think I'm tired of Jack Sparrow.
Fair enough.
I don't get it. I really don't. It was cool they had like a little reference of the dog dangling the keys. Like that's from the Pirates Ride, not just the movie or all that stuff.
I was more interested to see that they're still even doing business with the Jack Sparrow character.
I don't think Johnny Depp works for Disney anymore or something. There was like drama around that at one point.
Yeah, and so I mean, apparently in the next Pirates of the Caribbean film, that his Jack Sparrow and Johnny Depp won't be in it, and so that's caused a lot of controversy. So that's why I'm saying it's like that, kind of caught me by surprise to see that they're still in the, I guess, Jack Sparrow business. And maybe they're saying is like maybe they're going to move on without Johnny Depp as that character, and they're just going to keep pushing forward and maybe find a new. I don't know what they plan on doing, but
they could grab any impersonator from frickin' Times Square, probably.
Yeah. I think Scott is just frozen.
They could probably grab any interpreter from downtown Times Square to do a impersonation of Sparrow at the point. So
yeah, I think they could, maybe for the movies they are literally gonna stay away from Jack Sparrow because so synonymous with Johnny Depp. But for video games, you can basically make a half-hearted, almost looking like Johnny Depp style character and have just someone voice acting, which works basically. That's basically what they've done with Sea of Thieves. So maybe for video games and other things, they'll keep using the character, but just not for the live action stuff.
What about this Left 4 Dead quasi game? Are we excited about this?
I'm interested.
Jump back into this?
Yeah, so this is Back for Blood. Back for Blood, which is made by the people who made Left 4 Dead. So that's why it's so similar. It's like the whole Rock Band Guitar Hero thing. But yeah, I think this looks quite interesting. I'm up for it. It looks like it's got more of a story to it than Left 4 Dead did. From
I'm all about that story.
Oh yeah. I like a story in a game.
It had a story, and it was told through graffiti and stuff, which was cool. As much as a zombie thing can't. But Left 4 Dead 2, I played the shit out of, like trying to get achievements and stuff with buddies. So it would be cool if I could somehow get my old posse together to play this game. But otherwise, zombies have been done to death. So I'm sure if you went back and played Left 4 Dead 2, even after all the updates and stuff, it probably has not aged super well. But just all the fun that I had with that, I'm ready to play through this campaign with a couple of buddies again, for sure.
Yeah. That's why it might be one of those things where just the premise of the game is just so solid that maybe all it needs is just a kind of just freshen up the gameplay, add it in some modern elements, and that sort of thing, and maybe it's still just as fun. It'll be interesting.
Get those mods in there. I remember once we played with mods on that turned all of the zombies into crows, and that was more terrifying. I seen 1,000 Amy Roses run at you rather than zombies. So yeah,
that's quite funny. And this next, I think it's this next game. Is actually no, this isn't the game I'm thinking of. Actually, is it? No. Okay, they're actually showing Contraband right now, which we don't actually see any footage of, but we know it's an Xbox exclusive.
The only other thing I was like super interested in was Party Animals, which was basically gang beasts with corgis. So I'm down.
Yes, yeah. I think Party Animals looked really awesome. Kind of reminded me of like Fur Fighters, but a bit crazier. They announced that Yakuza Like a Dragon is going to come to Game Pass. So now all the Yakuza games are available on Xbox and on Game Pass. So if you've got Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate or whatever, get it. Because the Yakuza games are freaking awesome. And I forgot how silly
I said it during the stream that, you can just see everything happening now. I said during the stream that it's refreshing that Yakuza is now doing so well because it is such a insane trip that deserves more love. And I'm glad it's catching on outside of Japan. Because really, GTA takes itself too seriously. Like the other, it's almost apples and oranges to compare those two game series at this point. Because there's a story in Yakuza.
And so Chris was saying how he's sort of fed up with war games. I kind of am a little bit, but this really interests me because I've always been a bigger fan of the Battlefield games rather than the Call of Duty games. I've always just preferred Battlefield. I think because I've always preferred the destructible environments and stuff like that. And this has got 128 player online gameplay. You've got these cool hook shot things, which looks fun. And it just looks awesome because it's got like a freaking storm that's going around the place, and it looks like it actually takes you out, basically. Like the storm actually comes in and, destroys you.
You along with the ghost of shit. Well, the joke's over now because I can't remember his Chris, who was in Twister? Predator and a Terminator.
Bill Paxton?
Yeah, and the ghost of Bill Paxton can fight this F5 tornado in Battlefield.
Yeah.
Nice. My brother has a really funny Bill Paxton story where he got drunk with him in a bar in Austin one time.
That sounds pretty believable from what I've heard of Bill Paxton.
He said he was awesome.
For movies.
He said he was the nicest dude ever.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. What a guy.
You're never going to hear us cuss Bill Paxton on this podcast.
No. Yeah. But I think this game looks pretty sick, actually. It looks pretty impressive to me. So
I could probably be entertained by watching you guys play this, but I'm not really into these.
Yeah. Okay. So another game that really interests me is this Psychonauts 2. I was very excited when I actually saw this. I was like, this actually looks really fun to me. Just wacky, insane. Everyone.
Another example of style.
I'll be honest, I really wanted to like the original Psychonauts, and I think I really liked the visual style and everything. It's just I whatever it was, it never captured me, and so I'm looking. I want to give this one a try though.
Yeah, I have to admit, I never actually got to play Psychonauts originally. Never never sort of really crossed my radar, and now it seems to be really hard to get hold of. So missed that boat, which is really annoying.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you're gonna find they'll once this comes out, you'll find it. There'll be a way to get it.
Actually, is it available to download digitally on Xbox? If they don't do that, they should bloody do it because that's awesome.
I'm sure.
And there's so many games that we could go through, but I'll try.
Yeah, I don't think we should just keep going on every single one.
There was one that I want to because I don't know if you saw this, Chris. Did you see
the very end? I have not seen the very end.
Okay, because that's what I was thinking. I think there's a game you might like. So this is called This is called Redfall, and it's basically vampire hunting with superpowers. Which
I was actually watching this a little bit earlier, and I didn't have the audio, so I didn't really get the chance to watch it. That dude looks creepy as hell. Mm-hmm. He looks like was it 30 Days of Night or whatever? Remember that one base that he looks almost like something from that. Creepy as hell.
I don't think this was a strong ending.
Oh, you didn't like this game? I thought this game looked really awesome.
Well, no, it looks good, but like they should have just ended with Halo. Like this is not. This looks like any other hero shooter or sort of Left 4 Dead. We didn't see gameplay. It was all just the Overwatch introduction, essentially.
So it could be not very good for all we know.
We don't even know what kind of... Well, did they show gameplay at all? Do we know what kind of game it is at all? I'm just assuming.
I'm seeing this for the first time. I mean, it could be anything.
I don't think they actually showed any gameplay.
Right, yeah.
So I'm actually not sure if it's first person or third person.
So we get a 4-player co-op that one you shoot zombies and one you shoot vampires.
Yeah,
right.
But you got superpowers.
Yeah, I mean this could be the sequel to the Mitchells versus the Machines for all.
Maybe. I'm there.
Oh, I've just been told the original Psychonauts is on Game Pass. Thank you very much, dude. That's awesome.
Now,
thanks,
Graham,
TJ.
You know what you're doing this weekend.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you're not doing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go. Yeah, what were you going to say?
I was going to say what you're not doing is watching more Guardians footage.
You cut out again, dude.
I was going to say what you're not doing is watching more Guardians of the Galaxy footage.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if this is controversial, but I am cautiously optimistic about that Guardians game.
Okay.
I think that if you're a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, I think it has a lot of what you're looking for.
Yeah.
If you're not a fan, then you're not gonna like it, because a lot of it seems like it does a lot of the little kind of chatter in between all the characters and that sort of thing. And so I think it does a really good job from what we've seen of capturing the personality and the friendships and all of that makes Guardians of the Galaxy special for people. Now, it doesn't have the likenesses of any of the characters from the movie, so that might be a problem for people. I think, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's closer to like what they look like in the comic books. I think it's fine. I'm especially after all the stuff with the Avengers, I'm still just kind of a little hesitant to jump in. But like I said, I thought it looked decent. I think it might be a pretty good game.
It's fair. I mean, I could talk more about the Xbox stuff because I was
hoping we were going to get a Viva Pinata. Pinata game. And I'm serious. Like, I think that would be fucking awesome. I want a new Viva Pinata game.
That's rare, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that rare? They're doing Sea of Thieves, sir, and maybe Killer Instinct at some point.
Yeah, I mean, but Rare doesn't own the IP, so I mean, they could Microsoft get anybody to do it. The game.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. True. Yeah, this is Party Animals, which Scotty mentioned. I thought this looks insane fun, and we can move on actually because I can just keep talking about the Microsoft ones. I actually thought this was my favorite ones. They showed a lot of games. God damn you! They showed a lot of great games. They also showed some really good footage with some of them. Like I thought the Microsoft Flight Simulator. I've actually got that on PC, but the Xbox Series X version looked insanely good to me. And so did Forza. The new Forza Horizon, I thought looks beautiful. Like I was like, damn, that's actually really good graphics. So those are some, what you were saying about Halo before, like how Halo visually just doesn't look that amazing. Those are two games I looked at and went, whoa, they actually look basically like real life to me. I was like, bloody hell, this is where the next gen has come into play, I think. But yeah, let's.
Forza will forever be the baseline for the graphics on an Xbox console.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
yeah,
until Master Chief's armor sweats like those cars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And one other game I was very excited for was Outer Worlds 2, which I love the original Outer Worlds. That's such a fun game. To me, it's like a good version of Fallout. So I've never been into Fallout games. Shoot me. I played through Fallout 3, most of Fallout 4, and I was just like, I don't enjoy them that much. I don't know why. But yeah,
those are very different games that you're comparing, though. Like the style, the idea. Wait, is Outer Worlds the one that repeats itself?
What do you mean by repeats itself?
Oh, well, then that's a no. Then I'm thinking of a different game. Okay. Is that Outer Wilds?
Maybe.
Outer Worlds it's similar to Fallout, but it's all in jumping into like different planets and things like that.
Yeah. So it's
maybe I'm thinking of another game then.
It's basically like kind of like Fallout, but in space, where you're on different planets and stuff. And you have side missions and stuff, and I think that's the best. Easy way for me to explain it is it's Fallout. That's fine.
I don't
in the future.
Fallout in space.
We can move on.
Fallout in space. Yeah. Okay. Let's line up the next video. So the next one is actually the Square Enix presentation. Do we want to go through that one, or what do we think?
Boy, howdy!
They just go. This is the one. Yeah. Was I on this with someone who did this? Oh yeah, this is me and you. Greg,
I definitely watched this one.
I did not.
Or I think I did. Did I?
This one was after the Xbox one, basically.
I was in the chat anyway. I probably watched this one because it was just like, we get it. There's a Guardians game coming out, because 20 minutes of this presentation was Guardians, and I'm sure it's going to be a fine game. Guardians, but holy shit!
I have nothing more to say about this. But they did show a lot. I would say I don't think I would have started with this, but I don't know. But they do get really heavy in a Final Fantasy, though. I will say that.
So I'm not familiar with the comic books at all, but are these characters more reminiscent of the comic book version of the characters, or because they look different? Other than like Groot and Rocket, the other characters look different to their movie counterparts, basically.
Right.
Well, because they're not going to
their comic book characters.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to pay millions of dollars for Chris Pratt. His face.
Yeah, but they're so different. They could have been vague, like Captain Jack Sparrow doesn't look exactly like Johnny Depp, but he looks similar enough that if I saw him, I'd go, "That's Captain Jack Sparrow." Without Star-Lord's face mask on, I wouldn't have known that's Star-Lord. I'd just
right.
I wouldn't have known that's Drax. I wouldn't have known it's Gamora. I don't know who these. I wouldn't know who those people are, basically, because they look nothing like the movie, and because I'm just not familiar with the comic books. But I don't know. I don't even think they look like that in the comic books. I could be wrong though. So TJ
says in the chat that
Sorry, you say it. You say it, sir.
The comic versions are vastly different from the movie, and apparently Rocket Raccoon now has cybernetic limbs. Yeah, I mean Agent Venom was part of the Guardians of the Galaxy at one point, so they've been around for a while.
Venom is in Spider-Man Venom, or
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
Comics go places, and nobody ever dies.
Yep, that's true. But so, just very quickly, TJ, do you know if those are like the comic book characters there, or are they just completely different to both movie and comic book? So we can skip all this stuff. So what did you guys think of the Square Enix one, other than the endless Guardian stuff, which is, I'm trying to scroll through, and it's literally 20 minutes of Guardian stuff.
I enjoy the Life is Strange games, so it's neat that they're getting remastered, but also hilarious that they even tried to like do the screen wipe of like, this is how better the graphics look. And I'm like, that's funny, and I know what you're trying to do, but also they can't make that game look more realistic, because then it loses its style of that game and how those characters look. So it was hilarious, but otherwise nothing else really.
Okay. Oh, TJ's just confirmed they're closer to the comic characters from the mid 2000s that the Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you for confirming that.
All right.
That's cool. So Chris,
JRPGs.
Was there anything from the Square Enix that interested you?
Personally, like the Legend of Mana, that's coming out here really soon, so I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot of Final Fantasy stuff. Obviously, they didn't show the Final Fantasy like Part 2, that Final Fantasy 7 Part 2 that people were looking forward to, but I still think that they showed a lot of good Final Fantasy stuff. I'm looking to, was it Final Fantasy Origins? Is that the one that's like based on the original game that they're looking to redo? That looked really cool. I'm all on board with that.
It's like an action spin-off or something of the original or something like that.
Yeah, and the original is one of my all-time favorite Final Fantasy games. One of my all-time favorite RPGs. Is the one that I kind of cut my teeth on as a little kid. And introduced me to a lot of the fundamentals of what a kind of modern RPG was at the time, and it just pulled me in. So being able to go back and experience that in a more current, kind of wrapping is awesome, and I'm all on board there. So that was my biggest ones from the Square show. Is definitely Final Fantasy Origins.
Yeah, I have to admit I wasn't hugely interested in the Square stuff. Actually, this has got the Life is Strange bit that Scotty was talking about, where they do the screen wipe at one point.
Look how much more crisp it is, and blah 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 blah.
It's in HD.
Babylon's Fall. That's the new Platinum Games one.
Yes. We'll look at that in a second. Is this?
You don't have to show anything of Life is Strange.
I just want to see that.
Probably.
There we go. Screen wipe.
And they're shading now.
They're slightly darker than they were before.
Ray tracing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, ray tracing in Life is Strange. They've got it.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's just a dude named Ray, and he's just tracing. It's like Ray's tracing.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the thing from?
Oh, that's right. No, I didn't watch this because I remember now that Chris said that your 19-year-old daughter or something enjoys it, and I was like, confirm, I'm a 19-year-old these games. Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, my Caitlin, she's 21, Elliot's 19, but their whole group of friends are all into these games, and
right.
I just they're games that Rachel and I can play because we just hand off the character, and it's a very laid back experience. So
cool.
Yeah, fair enough. So right now they're showing Babylon's Fall, which is the Platinum Games' latest game. This did interest me. I'll tell a lie. This game actually did interest me. Legend of Mana interests me a little bit as well because I've never actually played the series, any of the series with that. They should look really cool. Babylon's Fall looks quite interesting, but other than that, I'm not hugely into Final Fantasy, so I'm not that bothered. Although I might look at the remasters because they're coming out on Steam, and I'm hoping they might be cheap. They showed off a lot of like mobile games and stuff as well, like a Hitman mobile game, a Nier mobile game and stuff, which I'm just like, I'm still not into mobile gaming.
Do you want to keep rolling?
Yeah.
Also, you got to keep in the thing I'll say about that is Square Enix is a Japanese company, and mobile is basically consoles in Japan. So, you know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway,
we'll very quickly go over this one, but if you didn't see it, there was Take-Two did a panel, basically, Take-Two Interactive, where they showed no games at all. No games were shown at all, and this sort of got a lot of YouTube and sort of Twitter and stuff up in arms a little bit. They did always say that it was going to be a panel, but I feel like it wasn't hugely communicated properly, because what we basically witnessed was a Zoom call. It's basically like going onto a company Zoom call meeting. The thing is, though, they actually had a very important topic to talk about. So it was about diversity and inclusion within the games industry. And yeah, I think a lot of people were very upset because they want to see games. They didn't really want to see people just chatting about this sort of topic, even though it's a very important topic. I mean, we were discussing it ourselves as because we were kind of expecting, like a lot of people, there might be some games being shown. So Chris and I were on this one. We were discussing it. And we're like, is this the right place to talk about this? Like, because E3 is normally about the games and stuff, but then we were like, but when would be the right time? Because it's a gaming event. This is a crucial thing towards the games industry. Surely this is the perfect time to talk about it. But so yeah, we're not necessarily ones to say what's right and what's wrong on this, but we were thinking there could have been possibly a better way to do it, like the best way to present this topic. They could have like pre-recorded some stuff and sort of spoken about some of the hot topics, maybe had a Q&A at the end or something. I don't know, but I feel like they could have presented it in a better way, which would have been more engaging to a lot more gamers, and hopefully maybe some of the, YouTube wouldn't have gone a bit crazy about it. Because I can understand people on YouTube going, why aren't there any games? But some of the YouTube comments were just, there were not unnecessary YouTube comments out there, just horrible, hateful stuff that, the vile that people spit out on the internet for no reason. Which was a bit bad. And we saw like several thousand people dropping off the YouTube live stream and stuff as well, and it's getting lots of negative likes, which was pretty bad. But what did you guys think? Scotty, did you see this one at all, or
nope, didn't watch it at all.
Okay, there we go. So Chris, what was your thoughts and feelings on it, I guess?
Still want to figure out like how this was communicated to everyone, because it seems like a lot of people went into this expecting that they're going to see some GTA, gameplay. Yeah. It was not that. And so I want to just go back, because the way we looked at it is we were just looking at the E3 schedule. We're like, hey, let's look at down this schedule and these are when the companies are going to be showing their games. As we went back and looked at it, it did say Take-Two Interactive Panel, but it didn't have any sort of explanation as to what it was. So I went in expecting, like many of the people on the YouTube, we're expecting to see gameplay footage, just like every other company. That's what I was expecting to see. That's why we were streaming it. And so from that standpoint, I was kind of upset, because I felt like this, as a games journalist, when I come here to cover and provide coverage of a company's press conference or show, I expect to be able to see content and in games that I am there to cover and report on for my organization. And so if I went there, even if this was live or whatever, especially if it was live, and I went there expecting to see this and it was this instead, I would be pretty upset as a journalist in there, because I'm there to do a job. I'm not coming here to listen to a panel, no matter what the topic is about. I'm there to do a job about like video games. And so I would have been upset if this was like a real event that felt like I was kind of not duped into, but I was just maybe I didn't have all the information going in there. I probably would have just been like, this is not what I thought it was. I'm just going to get up and walk out. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. That's what I would do. And so if I were a regular viewer, rather than commenting on YouTube about all this stupid stuff, I would just close the window. I would do something else.
Yeah, watching it virtually, it's even easier to leave. Like, there's no one to notice you walking away. You can just go X button, click that. Yeah. You don't need to leave horrible, hateful messages on a company's YouTube. Which, as we say, they were talking about it's quite a hot topic, and it's quite an important topic in the industry. I can understand people were a bit annoyed or maybe a little bit upset. Oh, there's no games, because I feel like it wasn't communicated properly, but there's no need for that. You could just go, oh, this isn't for me. This is not the stream for me. I'm going to go away. Bye.
It seems like, I mean, it's what you guys were saying, it's an important and a great message, but E3 is not the place for it. Like, maybe start your presentation with this and then go into some games, but it's kind of weird unless they communicated it earlier. It is kind of weird now that it is important stuff, but yeah, that doesn't make sense. This would make sense if it was like E3 in '96 was for stockbrokers and stuff, or something.
This seems like it's
maybe.
Usually a type of show that you get when you go to like MagFest or Too Many Games. You'll see something like this, or even like maybe GDC. Exactly. It's a panel, and it's just with E3 being what it is. It's just the expectations of what these companies have set, and really what E3 has set when they come to watch these things. So I think that's where you are getting the bulk of the negative reaction, is because people are feeling like, what the hell is this? This isn't what I signed up to come and look at. And so I think that's where you get a lot of that. Now, people are behaving like assholes and saying shit that's entirely inappropriate, and that's never okay.
Yeah, I feel like it was communicated to some of like the news outlets and stuff. Because I think it was GameSpot actually had an article saying, just to let you know, the Take-Two Interactive thing is not going to show GTA or any games and stuff. But I didn't actually see that until after it happened. So I'm not sure how many people got to see that, and I don't know how many other publications actually talked about it, because that's the only one I really found. So they knew there was going to be a panel talking about diversity and stuff. But yeah, it seems like most of the internet didn't expect it. But yeah, it's and Scotty, it's not a case that I feel like, I don't know if I misspoke earlier. I don't think it's a case that E3 is necessarily the wrong place to talk about it. Like, because it's a games event, this is a games topic, as it were. I think, but what you said is they could have done it in a slightly different way. They could have sprinkled some games in there, or as I sort of said before, they could have pre-recorded it and had like a proper full-on presentation with, you know, them talking about diversity, but like showing off game footage in the background and like looking at
although
people working in the office.
We made a funny point in the stream that it would be super weird for Take-Two to show gameplay footage. Now, whether it's before or after this thing, because I think think about this. Imagine them showing this and then showing gameplay footage for like the next GTA game where you're like beating up people, causing like beat up women and shoot people. It's totally weird because you have this company that has one of the most like games that allow you to do some of the like fucked up shit.
One of the most offensive games.
Right. And now you have this company that's leading this panel all about diversity and inclusion and LGBTQ. And it's a weird, it's like you can't do both, man. You can't put forth this game where you're pushing. And I don't know. It's something that I don't want to. It's not my job to answer these questions. I just throw it out there. Like,
they do. Well, 2K does a lot of games too. Like people were saying, "Oh, we're gonna get the new BioShock news or something too." So it's just they
do have a lot, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I realized that when I was looking up, like, what does 2K make? And it's just like Borderlands, BioShock, GTA. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, we don't need to dwell on this any longer. But yeah, it's a weird situation that we came across, and it seems like most of the internet did. I hope some people out there watching and were interested in it, because it's quite, it was a hot topic and quite important. But yeah, interesting one from Take-Two. I've seen a lot of articles since published, sort of going, "What the hell was that?" Basically, what were Take-Two thinking? So yeah, and the next one we're going to move on to is limited run games, which I actually don't have the video lined up for. So I'm going to have to quickly try and do that in the background. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
We'll talk.
So yeah, I put this one in there kind of the last minute because it did happen in between this and the next one we're going to discuss. That's Capcom. Limited run games does and what that means is they just basically announce all the games in the coming year, physical. This year they had Mega 64 produce it, so it's sort of weird not weird humor, but it's just it's their humor, so I very much enjoyed it. But I love limited run games. We've done stuff with them before. They're good people overall, but for those that have no idea, limited run games does limited runs of games that don't normally have a physical edition, or they've recently started to do like bring back Sega CD games that you can actually play on.
Scotty, you cut out again. They keep bringing back Sega CD games, and then they use the word.
Which will bring up. It'll be. They didn't announce a Sega CD game, but it'll be relevant to announce. Pretty crazy if you think about it. So, Chris, did you end up watching this?
I have not watched the full thing, but I've gotten like videos of certain games, and I did get to see the Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, which I was super excited about that, which is so weird because I've showed you guys a few months ago, I just bought that game probably within the last 6 months. And it's just weird that they went and did this, which is awesome. I guess they bought the rights to the game. They own like the rights.
Sure, it wasn't that expensive.
I'm sure it wasn't, and it's probably cheaper than the fucking game.
Probably.
And but no, it's kind of cool. I like that. obviously, Zombies Ate My Neighbors is one of my big ones because I've been talking about that for fucking forever, and I know, and I've been saying it for so long. This is a game. It makes so much sense to come back and look at again, and I'm so excited that they're doing that. And to your point, Scotty, what you're saying is that sometimes they come back and do actual like Sega CD ports and stuff of these games. They're doing that with Zombies Ate My Neighbors too, so you can get a Super Nintendo or a Genesis part of those.
Yeah, actually, Graham, do you want to bring up what that collector's edition is that they announced, since Chris mentioned the cartridge?
I can certainly try to. Let's
okay.
let's
Well, I'll talk about it while you're doing that, because I was streaming last night and we were talking about it because TJ was in the chat as well, and we were like, which edition are we at? But the one thing I wanted to bring up was that they're doing it's pre-orderable today. It's not like you don't have only this limited time, but there is sort of a limited window. But they are doing cartridges of Zombies Ate My Neighbors and then Ghoul Patrol, that was the sequel, Super Nintendo only. We looked up while I was streaming. I was like, let's see how much those games go for. The alternate variant of Ghoul Patrol, or of Zombies Ate My Neighbors on Super Nintendo, the PAL version, is over $800 is what people are asking for it.
What?
So this edition that they're doing for PS4 and Switch, it's both games, Zombies and Ghoul, for $35. And then there's a crazy collector's edition. Click on any of the premium. Then click on one of the $100 ones, or the 90 or
$100. I'm seeing like $449 and
$260. Go to the other ones. Go to like
this one
more over. Yeah, that one.
This one? Switch? Okay.
Yes. So that one, click on the bigger picture and you'll see the crazy edition that you can get. One of them that has like Steelbook and all that stuff, but okay. This is what the fans want. You got a sound, you got a Steelbook, you got a Super Soaker machine gun. So that's fun because that's both games. And then go back and check out one of those cartridges. They've got green variants of the Genesis / Mega Drive. You can either do a green, and then for Super Nintendo, you can do a red or a green or a gray, which all look cool. I like the red one but yeah, like actual cartridges that you can plug into your console. Wow. So this is one of the things that they announced.
That is cool.
So that's pretty exciting. So those are pretty cool. And I am insane, and I'm probably 4 version. But I have been debating hard, like, I kind of want Ghoul Patrol, because that's not something you'll ever get for a reasonable price, probably, at this point. Zombies Ate My Neighbors is a fun game. We don't need to talk about it this.
Oh, shit. They announced the takeovers coming to Switch and PS4.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We covered
there's
that
plenty
in the magazine.
I was wondering if the Genesis version works on PAL machines.
It should. I don't see why it wouldn't.
The cartridges actually have a physical difference between the Genesis and Japanese and European Mega Drives. There was actually a physical difference in them, like that. So when you slot it in, some of them didn't work or something. But yeah, I think it's possible to make it that they would work on all of them. So.
Is there anything else in Limited Run you guys want to talk about before we move on?
Oh, hell yeah. I could talk about this all day, like Graham could talk about Microsoft all day.
Yeah,
but some other like big things, Dusk is like it's a newer first-person shooter, but it is a very much the Duke Nukem 3D and, the first Samurai Warrior and stuff. Strife they're also doing. Bunch of River City Girls stuff. River City Girls 0, which is like a prequel or a demake almost. It's like an 8-bit brawler that they're releasing. And also all they did was show a quick thing of 2 that was cool. The anime Ruby, the Grim Eclipse game, is getting a physical release, which is awesome. Bunch of Shantae stuff. I'm not a fan of the Shantae series because I don't really like Metroidvania stuff, and that's what it is. Shantae is Metroidvania, but for horny. But I jest.
I enjoy the Shantae games.
Oh yeah, they're not bad. I'm just being an asshole. But they're doing Contra, the anniversary collection of. I am definitely getting because I love Contra. And there's a Double Dragon brawler bundle thing. Castlevania Rondo of Blood is that's what I was talking about before. They're doing a Turbo Duo physical release, like the CD that you put in your. So, Chris, you probably have one of those, right?
I don't have a Turbo Duo, no.
It's the one time. Yeah, but that's kind of nuts that they're releasing a Turbo Duo game, like the CD version of it. Other ones, Takeover is awesome.
Which one is that for what game?
It is the Castlevania Rondo of Blood. That was on Turbo Duo, I guess. Yeah.
Huh.
And the other one I'll mention is Skatebird, like flying birds, like tweet birds, because that's straight up Tony Hawk, but instead of him, it's birds and it's lo-fi music, and you can't actually bail in it, so you can't mess up your moves and stuff. It's a very chill skateboarding game.
Fun.
It's cool because it looks like it's kind of like Toy Commander mixed with Tony Hawk and birds.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Anytime Grant can talk out Toy Commander, he'll do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But that was their big final announcement was Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. Goddamn hilarious, because that is literally a PowerPoint, probably super offensive and has not aged well, but it's hilariously bad. And I am excited to... I don't know if I can stream that. I don't know if that's a... But I'm excited to play it.
Because I feel like this wasn't released in the UK. I still don't know what it is.
I doubt it.
It's just a very kind of raunchy FMV game.
Excellent.
It's very poor.
Let's take
acting.
a second to thank James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd. Probably like 80% of the reason that this is even happening.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
Limited run games, baby.
Okay. So have they actually enhanced this at all, or is it just okay? Well, there we go.
No idea. But there's a lot of good stuff coming up from limited run games, and I'm excited. Did you that Retromania physical edition, Chris?
I still haven't picked that one up yet.
Is that the one you played at Too Many Games?
It's been at Too Many Games. Yeah, it's been there for a couple years. So
gotcha. Good stuff. Next.
I think it's the Capcom showcase, I believe, is next. With
the lady in prison.
Oh my god!
I didn't have anything to say about this at all.
Yeah, so this,
no,
honestly, the thing that really stuck with me and has haunted me for a few days, basically all week, is the lady host person who's going to show up in a second. Hopefully, is she coming up? Yeah, because for the whole presentation, she's like smiling maniacally at the camera and just gesticulating with her hands a little bit, like doing this with her hands. And it just keeps looking forward in the same way. And they keep having the cameras like cut to the side slightly, but she's still looking forward. And it's just kind of, I don't know. There's almost like someone's got a gun to her head saying, you will smile as you do this presentation. And yeah, she's got Claire's jacket on. She basically kind of semi-cosplay like Claire, basically.
Yeah, it's like a casual Claire cosplay or something.
There's the camera angle. I don't know if you just saw it there. I don't like it. I don't like what Capcom did with this. But yeah, so Scotty, was anything that you really stuck out for you for this one? Sorry,
I wasn't. I just finished Resident Evil Village, so I was like, "Oh, it'd be cool if they show off some DLC." Literally, only said we are working on DLC, and eventually RE-verse will come out. And there was a bunch of Monster Hunter stuff. You were excited for the Ace Attorney, but otherwise, this didn't blow anyone away, which is kind of. It's interesting because Capcom has some of the best-selling series out there right now with Resident Evil. But this presentation was sort of hum, I thought, overall. Yeah,
I wasn't overly excited by it, I guess. It's interesting. Yeah. They had Resident Evil 8 Village, they had Reverse, the multiplayer thing, they had Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2. Monster Hunter Stories 2 intrigued me, because I like the idea of the Monster Hunter games, but I'm not really into sort of those sort of online games that much. I like PSO, but I don't know. I never really got into the Monster Hunter series, but the story...
No, me neither.
Monster Hunter story kind of interests me because it's a storyline to it, and as we know, as I've mentioned a few times, I like a good story. So maybe I'll play that. Maybe I'll look into that. Something. It could be kind of cool.
I don't know if it's going to be... I mean, Monster Hunter, you got to play with people.
Yeah.
It's fun on your own. I mean, it's fun, but on your own, it's a lot more difficult. So I don't know if stories is emphasizing a single player thing though or not, but
yeah, I'll look into that. And then they had the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which is part of the oh god, what they're called now. What's the original franchise called?
Video games.
God damn it!
What?
I guess they are just called. I guess they're just called the Ace Attorney games, aren't they? What the fuck are they called?
I think so.
How do you know what I'm talking about, Chris? What are they called? Tell me. Phoenix Wright, the Phoenix Wright games. Bloody hell! Yes, the Phoenix.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that's what you were looking for.
God damn it! It's kind of it's like a spin-off of the Phoenix Wright style games. It's that kind of game basically, but it's very different. It's kind of set in. I think it's set in like past times. It seems like a older style thing, and they've very annoyingly called the main guy not Sherlock Holmes but Herlock Sholmes, which was just like it's too on the nose. I think it's too on the nose, but yeah, I'm interested though. I like these games. I think they're very fun. They're very, very different, and yeah. So that was kind of Capcom. Really, they basically showed off like 4 games in total.
Yep.
And had the creepy Claire cosplayer person just smiling at the camera constantly. So yeah, should we move on quickly? Let's move on swiftly to the next one.
Do it.
Let's line up the next bad boy, which is Nintendo. So, yeah, Nintendo had a pretty decent presentation. So I think they had the second largest reveal. So behind Microsoft.
Where they basically just focus on Guardians of the Galaxy mostly.
The whole time.
So they showed off about 27 different games. Again, some of them are just like talk about DLC or, sequels and stuff. They didn't really have any. I don't think they had a single brand new IP, really.
Yeah,
they're all
that's
literally
the thing.
sequels.
It's like it was a lot of it is. No, not at all.
I guess not.
I don't have much to say about Nintendo, so I'll get my opinions out first because I'm over here in my corner thinking I didn't care that much. That's me. That's my stuff. It's a lot of ports, like revamps, and I will say they are doing a lot of things with IPs that people are excited for, and like bringing back old ones that haven't seen stuff in, and that's what Sega needs to do. Just listen to your goddamn fans.
I feel like this bit.
One thing I will say very positive is I love all of their Smash intros. Every character, it's a fun little movie to watch. Like I don't even care about, but it was just cool and entertaining to watch. They are very much on the pulse of what is going on with gamers and stuff, and it shows with that. With those videos, so
I do. It's kind of interesting. The most exciting bit for us when we were watching it on the show was the introduction of Kazuya from Tekken being introduced into Smash Brothers, which is what we're watching now. Because at the start, if you saw that, basically you see this person carrying Ganon from the Zelda franchise and throw them off a cliff, basically, and it was just like, whoa, what the hell's going on? And but yeah, it's just basically introducing the DLC, and it's quite funny. What they did. It's quite cool the way he's just throwing off all the characters. And,
but Kirby survives, as he should.
Damn right. Yeah, we were like, no, not Kirby. And then, that was good. They spoke more about...
Anti-Chris lost his shit, which we will post that clip later on. Anti-Chris was... He lost it.
Yeah. And then they showed off a bit of more of the Life is Strange stuff, because that's coming to Switch. And so they've got Life is Strange Remastered and Life is Strange, I've just forgotten the name of it now, something Colors or something, I can't remember what it was.
I don't know. I mean, what did you find interesting about it, Graham?
Well, the whole thing. I was interested in Worms. So they've got a new Worms game coming out. Where's the Worms game? So more Guardians of the Galaxy, don't care about Worms Rumble. There we go. It's So it's basically in 3D. Well, it looks like it's in 3D, and it's live action rather than turn-based Worms action. It's real time Worms.
You said live action. I was like, they got real worms.
Sorry, live action, real time action. They got real worms and we filmed them fighting. It's great, and
I love it.
Yeah, so this is one I'm really interested in. Also, Super Monkey Ball remastered. Very interested in that. And they got the new Mario Party, which quite interesting. Because
sort of. I think they're just adding mini games, right, or whatever. It's not a new Mario Party.
Oh,
game.
My understanding is it's technically a new Mario Party game, but they've taken boards and mini games from the previous entries in the franchise. If that makes sense, I guess.
Oh well, that's not a new game. Again, it's more remakes and like ports of stuff.
Yeah, although I guess it's not. They're not like. It's not like they've released the whole games of all of them. It's like they've taken. Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of a new entry because they called it Mario Party Superstars. So I don't know. It sounds
like it's like a compilation of probably tables and puzzles from all the different games rolled into one.
Right.
I think that's what it sounds
like. But speaking of party games, though, WarioWare is coming back. They got more WarioWare, so that should be fun.
WarioWare is happening.
But the big thing was Metroid, definitely.
Yes, they got a new Metroid game, which is not Metroid Prime 4. It's Metroid Dread, and it's going to be a 2D, 2.5D game. Which I think it looks kind of cool. I'm not into Metroidvania,
but it's got the Nemesis system going on with someone constantly hunting. And more games can adapt to. I think should try to adapt to.
Yeah.
I think this is Nintendo saying, hey, we're not going to have the next Metroid Prime ready. So here you go. Here's Metroid Dread. You guys y'all wanted Metroid Dread. Here you go. You got it. So don't ask us about Metroid Prime until we're ready to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I guess Metroid, the series, has never sold that well. So fans should be happy they're getting anything because it's not a lucrative series for them. But yeah, I mean, I've never been into them. It's cool though. I honestly kind of want the amiibo of Annie, the white robot that's after you the whole time. But Fruzen Blast looks fun. I just played that game in real life in an arcade.
Oh, does the Switch have a steering wheel though?
I don't know.
Because I feel like I always love using an actual steering wheel with the cruising games. It just doesn't feel the same.
I mean, I think you could probably get a steering wheel thing that you put the Switch in that you go like this with.
That would be fun too. That would be cool.
They exist. They
not
exist.
One of those shitty Mario Kart ones.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's what you can get.
No, not like a Happy Meal fucking.
Yeah.
No, there is a $100 best one at Best Buy. It's the Nintendo Switch Mario Kart Racing Wheel Pro Deluxe by
Oh God.
I have like 3 minutes before I have to get rolling.
Okay, right.
You better buy that wheel.
What did you guys like from Nintendo? Because I think they were fine. Nothing really jumped out at me other than Monkey Ball, to be honest. And kind of Breath of the Wild too, but I'm hesitant on that because I've got controversial opinions about Breath of the Wild. Well, actually, this Dragon Ball Z game,
Cruisin', Wario, and for me.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yep. Chris?
That Astria Ascending game looks pretty cool. That actually, I guess, is the Valkyria Chronicles composer is attached to that, and it looks more of like an old school Final Fantasy game. Visually, I thought that looked really cool. Cruisin' Blast, like I said, looks awesome. We did get some Atlas stuff with the Shin Megami Tensei 5. They showed some of that, which was cool to see. I mean, overall, Metroid Dread was the thing that I came out looking like, wow, that actually looks really cool. Sega showed 2 Point Campus. But other than that, those are my main points. I thought it was overall a decent showing. I think Nintendo has some big stuff. This is not Nintendo showing all its cards. Like, Nintendo's got some big stuff up its sleeve that they're just not ready to announce yet, with the new Switch and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't think what we're seeing now is at all what the capabilities are going to be with the new one. And so I'm thinking once we see that, it might blow us all away even more. And imagine what the new Breath of the Wild could look like on the new Switch Pro, or whatever the fuck you're
That
gonna
could be
call it.
interesting.
So, I think there's a lot of intrigue coming out of this Nintendo show, even when you may not think it on the surface. There's some stuff going on there that's, I think, pretty cool.
I love that everyone. Shout outs also. They're bringing a Fatal Frame game over here that wasn't released. But I think it's funny that everybody's like, Nintendo won E3. I'm like, Nintendo showed Nintendo games. That's not. They did what everyone wanted. That doesn't mean they won. But there's a lot of quality games coming out.
Yeah, I think they did fine, but I don't think that, for me, they didn't win. But, win, as it were. But,
yeah. Whatever. I think they did fine. For Nintendo, I think they did exactly what they needed to do. They showed Breath of the Wild. They kept their fans happy, and they kept intrigue going, into the future for their next hardware iteration for the Switch.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a shame we didn't see any new Switch Pro or much more of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but they showed enough of it. I think people were like, "Oh," because they showed the sky. How you can go into sky and stuff now. It's like that's a good little step up. So yeah, I guess we can wrap this bad boy up now. I guess because that's kind of the main ones we've gone through.
Yep.
Do you want to very quickly say what your favorite presentation was and your worst presentation was?
Sure.
What? Maybe.
I'll say Ubisoft is my favorite.
Okay.
And I think Capcom is the shittiest one. I'm not. Take-Two is an easy one, but I feel like I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to go with the ones that actually showed games. And Capcom, I don't think he did enough.
Fair enough. Yeah, Scotty.
My favorite was Devolver because they have the most style. I think Square Enix was the worst because they could not separate the time adequately. That like Guardians is probably going to be a good game, but I'm fucking tired of it already. Yeah, and of course Limited Run. Who are we like? Of course I like Limited Run's the best. I'm just gonna buy everything they sell me forever. So, but Devolver, everybody go watch Devolver, and Tommy Tallarico is goddamn insane.
Yeah, I think from my side, my favorite was, as you can probably guess, it was the Xbox one. I thought that was just brilliant. It's like an hour and a half of constant game footage, and most of it is stuff I actually was interested in.
Well, they were good. They respected your time. They fucking flew through stuff. They showed you everything. So it's like, I'm sorry, Dolphin Quest, game of the show.
There you go. Awesome. Yeah. So for me, Xbox is my favorite. Basically, most of the games I'd actually like to play. And then, I think I'm with Scotty on the worst one. I wasn't a huge fan of the Capcom one, but the Square one, literally most of those games I was like looking at going, I literally don't give a shit. Like, I don't care about this. So that's kind of my hot take, as it were. But I think there's a lot of good stuff.
I will say real quick, Iron Chef mentioned, how would you rate Bandai Namco? They showed literally told everybody it was going to be one game. I'm going to get that game because it's another choose your own adventure spooky thing. But
I didn't actually see the Bandai Namco one. I had to step out.
It's literally half an hour of just one game. It's another one of the people that made the game and Book of shit. I don't remember the series. Hell, Chris, go ask Elliot. He probably knows.
He's not here. He's actually working for once.
Yeah, sadly I missed it.
I'm kidding.
Cool. So we don't have any more questions or anything in the chat, do we, at the moment?
Nope. Think we can wrap it up, guys. I'll find someone to raid. Chris, if you need to book it, go ahead and book it.
Yeah, I got to get going, boys. This was fun. I'm glad. Hopefully next year we'll be at the real E3.
Maybe.
I'd like to go.
Maybe we will.
All right, guys.
I'm going to punch Randy Pitchford in the face. That's why I want to go.
See you guys.
Cool. Catch you later.
Bye, Chris.
Bye.
We're still sticking around, though, guys. Graham and I are hanging out for a bit here still.
Oh, the cameras are completely off.
So let me...
I think I could fix that.
It's as E3 people last year, it barely existed. And people are like, what's going to happen? E3's dead. I think they say that every year. Now it's the Scotty Mo show. Thank you, everyone. I pray that E3 is physical next year. There was just like I was overwhelmed. I could not keep up, and we were trying to stream and everything and trying to cover as much as we could. But it was like we were there, because it's like when you go to PAX and you hear a week later like, oh, this game was announced at PAX. I didn't even Xavier Woods was there. What's happening? Who was there? What's going on? So it was just a lot. So they got to figure out what's going on. But I didn't even catch the indie stuff through Guerrilla Collective, which is a shame. I think, I didn't even mention it. There is a game that I'm looking forward to that was throughout the indie stuff called Paparazzi, which is literally Pokemon Snap, but you're taking pictures of dogs, and they're like the Entitled Goose Game kind of style of graphics. So that, I mean, I love dogs. So, but what do you like? How do you think E3 has to progress from here, Graham? Like, what do you think they need to do?
I think in a way they do need to go back to being a physical event again. I think it's fine to have stuff virtually though. Like I feel like they could bring it back so that it's like the game media, like journalism stuff at the live events, but more live streaming for the public, basically. Give the public like their live access. Because I think like if it was back like it was back in the day, like the game media, like journalists and stuff could actually get interviews with like developers and stuff, and you know they can do more behind the scenes stuff, which is really interesting coverage to see. So if they could do that again, so get that sort of more going. I know that still does happen a little bit, but do that, and then like because most consumers, they just want to see what the games are. Basically, they don't need to be at the event to do that anymore. You know, they can see these live announcements online very easily, as they've sort of proven. So I feel like they could do a hybrid almost, which is something I'd like to see, basically.
Well, that's what Nintendo has done because they haven't been at E3 for years. They've done this direct where they've just handed somebody a flash drive or whatever and said, this is our presentation. I don't recall if they had a booth or a floor space at the last E3 or not. So they've kind of gone to that already, but also because it's like how expensive to just rent floor space for E3 or whatever. But it's still just as important, I think. I can understand the hybrid thing, but at the same time, like no joke, the most exciting, I being on the production side of stuff, and we all kind of are at Megavisions, but I love the live like mess ups, the bloopers and everything that happen, the mics still on when they're backstage or whatever, and just things going wrong. But still, hands down, the most exciting moment of E3 for me. It's crazy to say this, and I'm happy that Rachel was watching it with me, but was 2 years ago for Cyberpunk, after they debut Keanu Reeves in the game, and then he walks out on stage. I was like, what the fuck? Because I love Keanu Reeves, but it was just so fun. And like his reactions to the crowd, you know, like saying you're breathtaking and stuff like that. Like that's the stuff I love, is the live presentations and things like that when things go sort of according to plan. So that's why I do hope some of the shows are back and everything. They really don't need... the thing that E3 does not need is a break in between and this is what Microsoft did, because they did have some devs in between videos and gameplay footage and stuff, but overall it was just a constant stream of footage.
Yeah.
And that's what the live shows need to be. We don't need, what is her name? Who's the host of Whose Lines It Anyway? And she used to basically be the E3 MC. You know who I'm talking about,
I know,
though.
exactly.
But like,
Aisha Tyler? Is that it?
I think so. But like, we don't need to hear from her after every game, or whoever after every game, you know, stuff like that. So I think this E3 helped in a lot of ways to show that flow and style is important in a presentation. So I agree that the hybrid method might work, but it needs to be physical again for the sake of smaller companies. It's not just for stockbrokers, since they opened it up to the public. So
yeah, totally. Yeah. But overall, were you happy with this E3, or were you like?
I think it was fine. There were a lot of hits and a lot of misses, but it wasn't bad. Like there's been pretty lackluster E3s. I think honestly, the last one outside of like Keanu Reeves, like everybody was like, we've got new consoles coming out, and there's barely any information coming out of this conference. You know. Yeah.
And I think that's why I like the Microsoft one this time a lot, because in previous E3s I haven't really enjoyed them that much, because I think for Xbox fans and stuff, Microsoft hasn't really had many big games coming out this year for this generation so far. So this showed off some of the future games that would get people excited about the console, which I think is cool. Like showing off some proper next generation stuff is like, this system will actually have some great games coming out. Come on. So Yeah.
Yeah, they do need more of that right now, just with the new consoles that are out.
Yeah, and most of them were Xbox launch exclusives that they showed off, so not total exclusives, obviously, but it's just kind of nice to sort of see them go, we're getting this first, everybody. And there were a few exclusive titles they showed off as well, but yeah. So
that is true. Well, I was trying to... Okay. You know what? Yeah, we're going to hang out with... I found somebody playing Super Monkey Ball.
Hey, Monkey Ball. Excellent.
We were talking about that for a good bit. So this is the Walker. We'll go hang out with them, guys. Be sure to give them some love as they are playing something that we were excited about. But overall, we'll do some quick plugs here. Did I freeze or am I good, Graham?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, your camera got really pixelated, so I couldn't tell. But no, we're going to go hang out with the Walker. As always, guys, if you scroll down and click on this magazine, you can hop on the Patreon. We got stuff coming up. We had a teaser for the next magazine. We got big announcements soon. We stream almost every day. So keep an eye on here on our Twitters. And of course, we'll hit it one more time. Go ahead and hop in the Discord. We've got reviews that just came out. Anti-Chris just reviewed a game that I forgot the name of, so plug. But go to the website, megavisionsmag.com. Awesome. Anything else, Graham?
No, you can find us on all the social stuff that's around here. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And yeah, just have a great weekend, everybody. And thanks for watching and thanks for listening, and be excellent to each other.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and raid the Walkers, so hang out with them. Sonic's 30th birthday is coming up pretty soon. So I know I'll be streaming some stuff for it. What'll happen, we'll see. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Cheers.
Peace. Honey, I gotta tell you about this sandwich.